A Moving Story is presented by Singapore Logistics Association and Jurong Port, and supported by the following.
Singapore is the world's #2 logistics hub, according to a 2010 World Bank report. From the largest transshipment hub to Asia's top 5 cargo airport, Singapore offers excellent global connectivity. Besides that, the city-state also provides secure storage of art and other valuables and is a player in cold chain logistics. In this 4-part series, we pay tribute to those who work behind the scenes and around the clock to ensure on-time delivery of goods and services around the world. Attention to detail is key in transporting hazardous chemicals.
It's very important at that level that we understand what is the characteristic of the product so that we can be able to properly allocate and handle the chemicals in a safe and responsible manner.
Managing the supply chain to stay on top of the game in healthcare logistics.
During a flu pandemic, with our distribution channels, we are able to reach out to all the customers as quickly as possible.
Handling and delivering temperature-sensitive blood test kits is a challenge.
Too cold is also not good. If it goes up, too hot is also not good. So any escalations, we are aware of it.
Repacking plastic solutions in Singapore to cater to a client's logistics need.
We designed a way to take product from the container, a bulk container, and package it here in Asia instead of in the Middle East.
Catch these heroes in action as they show you that there is more than meets the eye when it comes to providing specialized logistics solutions. At the heart of Singapore's energy and chemical hub, Jurong Island has attracted over 95 global companies and has drawn cumulative fixed asset investments of over 30 billion Sing dollars. Transporting hazardous chemicals for petrochemical manufacturing requires the expertise of specialized logisticians. This is where Hoya Global Singapore comes into the picture. Established in Singapore 10 years ago, this logistics company currently delivers, on average, 220 loads of hazardous chemicals every month here. Transporting hazardous chemicals around the globe is a high-risk venture. From the moment a delivery order is placed, safety precautions kick in immediately.
When an order is placed, our Singapore operations team will actually firstly check in terms of the product that's going to be shipped. They will check through our system database to make sure that the product is suitable for carriage within our fleet of 10 containers.
This German company has been in the business for 65 years. As such, there are more than 60,000 products in the database. Once the specific product classification has been identified and the requirements of various regulations have been met, an ISO tank, a steel pill-shaped container commonly used to transport liquids, will be assigned accordingly. A truck driver will pick up the allocated tank from a depot in Jurong. The history of every delivery undertaken by a tank is documented to certify compatibility. Since each tank is reused, its cleanliness is paramount.
It's very important that prior to the release of every equipment, the tank has to be properly washed. It has to be surveyed by an independent surveyor after cleaning. This will allow us to ensure that the next load will not be under any risk of contamination or any other issues that could arise due to the improper cleaning of the tank.
Upon arrival at a client's chemical plant in Jurong Island, the client then transfers the hazardous chemicals into the tank.
Of course, prior to the loading on site itself, the customers themselves will have their own safety checks in place to ensure that the tank's integrity is not affected. That means the safety seals are there and everything is still in place as per what has left from the depot.
Once the tank goes onto the road, transporting hazardous chemicals safely is the responsibility of this logistics provider. It is crucial that public exposure to any accidental chemical leakage is minimized, if not prevented. A chemical leakage scenario is simulated to show the safety measures taken. After reporting the leak to Hoya's corporate office, the truck driver will direct traffic and wait for the confinement team to arrive. At the same time, the Singapore Civil Defence Force, or SCDF, will also be notified. Once the confinement team arrives, they will try to neutralize the problem themselves before the arrival of SCDF. For instance, they will block any water catchment area, such as the drain, to prevent the chemicals from polluting the water. Thankfully, such a situation has not happened in Singapore.
So far, we have not had a leakage along Singapore roads ever before, and this is due to the stringent requirements and commitment between all our service partners.
After graduating with a business degree, BJ first worked for a freight forwarding firm. To keep himself updated on the development of the logistics industry, he recently completed his MBA, which focused on maritime and logistics management. He joined Hoya in 2007. He worked his way up from sales manager for Southeast Asia to area sales manager for Asia Pacific. From meeting people from different countries to overcoming different challenges, there's never a down moment in chemical logistics.
The thing that I like most about my job is that I get the opportunity to be exposed to many interesting and challenging scenarios. It's a good feeling that you know ultimately at the end of the day, you're able to solve a problem for the customers.
Singapore is one of the world's top 3 integrated petrochemical hubs, and the future of chemical logistics looks set to grow.
With the Jurong Island project that's already in place for the last few years, you'll see that there's definitely a lot of demand and growth within this sector for petrochemical logistics.
For over 45 years, Jurong Port has been making good moves in general cargo, bulk cargo, and containerized cargo. We are recognized as Asia Pacific's multi-purpose port of the year. Thinking of good moves? Jurong Port. Their aim is simple: to achieve an Islamic state. Arrested and jailed, are they now repentant?
Saya juga yang ngantarkan bom itu, saya yang mengajari yang bunuh diri. Jadi saya paling banyak. Kalau mereka bilang NKRI banyak harga mati, Islam ada harga mati kan begitu.
Jail only strengthened his faith. People like him, I cannot change.
An exclusive in-depth look at Indonesia's efforts to combat terrorism. Unbroken Faith. An original production by Channel News Asia. Premiering 18th March.
China is attempting to protect people against cheating spouses with a few clicks of the mouse. More on a new nationwide marriage database and just how effective it is on East Asia tonight.
Introducing the new Sharp Aquos Quatron 3D LED with 4-color technology, complete with Sharp's RGB plus Y, adding yellow to the standard RGB format, reproducing brilliant lifelike colors, now in real 3D. Bring home the new Sharp Aquos Quatron 3D LED and bring home the real world. Sharp.
The dreadful flu season hit Singapore recently. More than 17,000 people were treated by polyclinics for respiratory illnesses, including flu, in January 2011. However, there have been no reported cases of shortage of flu medicines and vaccines. This is where healthcare logisticians play an important supporting role. Leading healthcare distributor Zulik Pharma serves more than 100 principals. They range from pharmaceutical firms to medical device companies and clinical trials organizations. For flu-related treatment and prevention in Singapore, the company has a local distribution center that manages and supplies vaccines, prescription and over-the-counter medications to various healthcare providers.
For over-the-counter flu medications, we work with our brand owners very closely to ensure that the inventories are healthy. Hence, during flu seasons, we try to ensure that the inventory are enough to supply to meet the demands.
Singapore's Health Ministry has a supply of H5N1 pre-pandemic flu vaccines for the nation. The stock is stored at this warehouse. The company is always on standby to distribute the vaccines around the island during the flu pandemic.
It is very important for us to ensure that supply is met at the customer end. Hence, we coordinate and plan according to MOH distribution priority to send the products as quickly as possible to the designated customers.
A pharmacist by training, Joyce worked for a few years before going to the US to take her master's in Health and Medical Services Administration. Her domain knowledge and training came in useful when she made the switch to pharmaceutical logistics 2 years ago.
There are various skills that is required in pharmaceutical logistics. However, I think the most important is to actually understand the quality standards in pharmaceutical, as well as the background information and knowledge of pharmaceutical items to ensure that we understand why we do what we do in this particular environment.
As the Regulatory Affairs and Quality Assurance Manager, Joyce and her team make sure the Zulik Pharma's healthcare logistics operation complies with the good manufacturing practice guidelines set by the Health Sciences Authority. For instance, drugs imported into Singapore need to go through what is known as a redressing process.
When we receive a product that after some quality assurance checks realize that it's not fit for sales in the market because it doesn't comply with local regulations, we will send it for a redressing, meaning to put in an additional label or change of packaging just to make sure that they are compliant before it is being released to sales.
Healthcare logistics is all about delivering quality products in a timely manner that benefits those who require